You've probably been in this situation before. You're standing in a room, maybe at a cafe, maybe at work, or maybe at a friend's gathering, and you notice a woman glance at you. But here's the catch. Was it just a casual look? Or was there something deeper behind that moment of eye contact? This is the eternal question that men across the world struggle with. How do I know if she's actually interested or if I'm just imagining it? The truth is, women rarely come out and directly say, "Hey, I like you." Instead, they communicate attraction in subtle, often subconscious ways. And here's where most men fail. Not because they don't have what it takes to attract women, but because they can't decode the signals right in front of them. In this video, we're going to break it all down. We'll decode the hidden body language cues women use when they're interested in you. We'll cover 5 powerful signs backed by female psychology and evolutionary science so that next time, you'll know exactly what she's saying without her saying a single word. By the end of this, you won't just notice signs of attraction, you'll understand the psychology behind why women do it and how to respond in a way that keeps her respect and deepens her interest. So, let's dive in. Reason why men misread signals. Before we talk about the signs themselves, let's address the biggest mistake men make: misreading female body language. You see, men are wired to look for clear, logical signals. Our brains crave certainty. If a woman likes us, we want her to just say it. But women operate differently. They communicate attraction indirectly. This isn't random, it's rooted in psychology and biology. Evolutionary psychology tells us that women have always needed to be selective. For thousands of years, women's survival and the survival of their children depended on choosing the right partner. Directly announcing attraction could put her at risk of rejection, judgment, or even social consequences. So instead, women learned to communicate interest through subtle cues: body language, micro-expressions, and energy shifts. That's why if you wait for her to say, "I like you," you'll probably wait forever. But if you learn to read her body language, you'll notice that she's been telling you all along. Think of it this way. Women speak 2 languages. The first is verbal, the words they say. The second is nonverbal, the cues they give off through posture, touch, tone, and movement. And it's this second language that reveals how she truly feels. The power of female body language. Now, why does body language matter so much? Because studies show that up to 70% of communication is nonverbal. Words can lie, but body language rarely does. A woman might tell you, "I'm not interested," while unconsciously leaning closer to you. Or she might say, "We're just friends," but play with her hair every time she talks to you. Body language is the truth beneath the surface. It's the subconscious, raw, unfiltered expression of attraction. Here's the secret. Women don't even realize they're doing it. The signs you're about to learn aren't deliberate games she's playing. They're subconscious expressions of her interest. Sign number 1, eye contact and gaze patterns. Let's start with one of the strongest indicators, the eyes. We've all heard the phrase, "The eyes are the windows to the soul." But when it comes to attraction, they're also the windows to her desire. There are 3 key things to watch for when decoding her eyes. The lingering glance. If she looks at you and holds that gaze for longer than usual, even just half a second longer, that's not accidental. Women are masters of controlled eye contact. If she lets her eyes rest on you, it means something about you has her attention. The repeated glance. If you catch her looking at you multiple times across the room, that's a sign of interest. She's checking to see if you've noticed her. This is her subconscious way of inviting you to make a move. The triangle gaze. Pay attention if her eyes move from one of your eyes to your other eye and then down to your lips. This triangular gaze is a major sign of attraction. It means she's not just looking at you, she's imagining what it would feel like to kiss you. Story example. Imagine you're at a coffee shop. You look up and notice a woman at the next table glance at your way. You ignore it at first, but then 5 minutes later, you notice she does it again. And this time, she doesn't just glance, her eyes linger for a moment before darting away. That's not coincidence. That's female psychology in action. Most men miss this because they tell themselves, she probably wasn't looking at me. But the truth is, if you catch her doing it more than once, it's almost always deliberate. And here's where men ruin it. They stare back too intensely, too soon. The key is to hold her gaze for a second, give a subtle smile, and then look away. You've acknowledged the signal without overcommitting. That builds intrigue. Sign number 2, touch, proximity, and subtle gestures. The second powerful sign is all about how she positions her body around you. Attraction pulls people closer. Disinterest pushes them away. So if a woman is interested, you'll notice she finding reasons to be physically closer to you. Here are the cues to look for. Proximity. If you're in a group, notice where she chooses to stand. Does she move closer to you even when she has other options? That's no accident. A woman who's drawn to you will subconsciously reduce the physical space between you. Incidental touch. This is one of the most powerful body language signs. She might lightly touch your arm when laughing, accidentally brush against you as she walks by, or tap you playfully while talking to you. These touches are small, but they speak volumes. Self-touch in your presence. Here's a psychological cue most men overlook. If a woman plays with her hair, touches her lips, or adjusts her necklace while talking to you, that's a subconscious display of attraction. She's drawing attention to her femininity. Story example. Think about a time you were sitting next to a woman and she leaned in just a little closer while speaking. Maybe her shoulder brushed yours, or she touched your forearm while making a point. That wasn't random. It was her body signaling comfort and attraction.
Sign number 2, touch, proximity, and subtle gestures. The second powerful sign is all about how she positions her body around you. Attraction pulls people closer. Disinterest pushes them away. So if a woman is interested, you'll notice her finding reasons to be physically closer to you. Here are the cues to look for. Proximity. If you're in a group, notice where she chooses to stand. Does she move closer to you even when she has other options? That's no accident. A woman who's drawn to you will subconsciously reduce the physical space between you. Incidental touch. This is one of the most powerful body language signs. She might lightly touch your arm when laughing, accidentally brush against you as she walks by, or tap you playfully while talking. These touches are small, but they speak volumes. Self-touch in your presence. Here's a psychological cue most men overlook. If a woman plays with her hair, touches her lips, or adjusts her necklace while talking to you, that's a subconscious display of attraction. She's drawing attention to her femininity. Story example. Think about a time you were sitting next to a woman and she leaned in just a little closer while speaking. Maybe her shoulder brushed yours, or she touched your forearm while making a point. That wasn't random. It was her body signaling comfort and attraction. In female psychology, touch is risky. Women don't casually touch men they're not comfortable with. If she initiates touch, even small, seemingly meaningless ones, it's a green light. But here's the warning. Many men overreact when they notice this. They either pounce too quickly or freeze up, overthinking the moment. The right move is to mirror her energy. Acknowledge her touch with relaxed body language, maybe return it subtly later, but never rush. That keeps the attraction flowing naturally. Sign number 3, mirroring and synchronization. One of the most subtle yet powerful signs of attraction is mirroring. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she'll unconsciously begin to copy your movements, posture, and energy. This isn't something she plans. It's a deep psychological behavior that comes from connection and rapport. Think of it like this. Human beings are wired with something called mirror neurons. These neurons fire both when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform it. It's why yawns are contagious and why we often mimic the body language of people we feel close to. So, when a woman is into you, her body starts to sync with yours. Here's what to look for. Matching posture. If you're lean back in your chair and she does the same a few moments later, that's mirroring. If you cross your legs and she mirrors the gesture, that's not coincidence. It's subconscious alignment. Copying movements. Pay attention to small movements. If you take a sip of your drink and she follows right after, or if you adjust your jacket and she does the same, her body is echoing yours. Energy synchronization. Beyond physical gestures, notice her energy. If you're calm, she calms down. If you get more animated, she gets more animated too. That's her vibe syncing with yours. Story example. Imagine you're sitting across from a woman at dinner. You lean slightly to the left, resting your elbow on the table. A few seconds later, she shifts and rests her elbow the same way. You smile, and she smiles right after. That's not her just being polite. That's female psychology revealing alignment. Here's the key. Mirroring is one of the most subconscious signs of interest. If she's doing it, it means she feels safe, connected, and drawn toward you. Sign number 4. Nervous energy and playful behavior. Now, this one is tricky because it often gets misread. Some men assume that if a woman is nervous around them, she's not interested. But here's the reality. Nervous energy is often a sign of attraction. When we like someone, our bodies release adrenaline. That adrenaline can show up as restlessness, fidgeting, or nervous movements. For women, this often comes across as fidgeting with objects. She might play with her straw, twist her jewelry, or tap her fingers lightly on the table. These aren't random. They're subconscious ways of releasing nervous energy. Hair play. One of the most common cues. She might twirl a strand of hair, flip it over her shoulder, or run her fingers through it. This is part nervousness, part flirting. It draws your attention to her femininity. Playful behavior. Sometimes nervous energy transforms into playfulness. She teases you lightly, gives sarcastic remarks with a smile, or challenges you in a fun way. That's not hostility, it's attraction disguised as banter. Story example. Imagine being around a woman who keeps laughing at your jokes, even the ones that weren't that funny. Maybe she stumbles over her words, then giggles and says, "Ugh, I don't know why I'm messing up my sentences." That's not just clumsiness. That's her body reacting to the excitement of being near someone she likes. Here's the key difference. Nervousness mixed with warmth and engagement usually signals interest. Nervousness mixed with withdrawal, like avoiding eye contact or turning her body away, signals discomfort. So always pay attention to whether her nervous energy is pulling her closer to you or pushing her away. Sign number 5. Vocal tone and feminine energy shifts.